Perfect.
And welcome to another episode of Foreign and Domestic. That was the one, the only Alan B. Pro. And with that, we'll kick it off with Alan. How you doing, man? I know you're not feeling too good.
Yeah, I'm not feeling all that great today. It hasn't been that bad of a week though, so if it would stay around the temperatures it was today for like the rest of winter, I wouldn't complain. I'm definitely not looking forward to more snow in a couple of days. It is what it is. But I shall just go into the participants list where it's got Fuzz Fork, HRM Weapons Machinist, Scott P79, Tread, Vborg. I don't think it's not. So Budget Gun Cinema, Roll Calls out there, Stealth Hunter. I'm not sure if I read him. And that looks like it at the moment, but it looks like people are starting to come in.
All right, awesome, good deal. Hold on, my computer's being slow and doesn't want to cooperate. Typical.
Well, we have already been called out, so go ahead and do what you need to do there, Scotsman. We've already been called out for a gun check. I will go ahead and start by going to Daniel.
Okay, am I on? Is my volume on?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am at the 3 o'clock position, Harry's Holsters, with the PO1 Omega.
Nice. Yes. Mr. Insight Freedom.
So, hello, and X-Carry was just cleaning it right when we started. So, X-Carry right here. And
what light are you running on that?
What's
that? The Valkyrie that you're running on that? The light?
It is. It's the Mini. See the Mini?
JH, you got any firearms around you?
Matter of fact, I do. I have the CZ75BD, but I also have something pretty neat. Y'all call me old, so you need to see old. I have the Ruger Mini 14.
Nice.
And I also have an extra 20-round Ruger magazine for that bad boy. So yeah, we used that in the Civil War, by the way.
Well, it looks like you did some refurnishings. Hopefully it's all matching numbers.
It is.
Josh, do you have a firearm anywhere near you?
Nothing surprising, just the same old CZP-10C. And just hit 1,500 rounds, so I remember I had that one stuck case at 450 rounds, that steel case that got stuck. So I put 1,000 rounds since then successfully without no stoppages. So now I'm 100% happy and confident. I know it was a steel case, but still, I don't know, something about it. I just like to make it through 1,000 rounds without anything stopping. So
yeah, I so get it. I totally get it. Phil, you got a firearm?
Yeah, I just got done cleaning guns today. I have the Walther PPS M2. Shot it today, and if we have time, I'll tell you a little story about it.
All right. More than likely will. Right now, I've just got the LC9S Pro. This thing's starting to look a little worse for wear, but I mean, my carry weapons, I don't worry about how they look all that much when it's something like this, but just the LC9S Pro for me this evening. How about you, Scott?
Got the Model 60 in the Harry's holster. Still loving that holster. He's coming out with a Gen 2 version of it here pretty soon. He's making some upgrades already. I talked to him the other day about it, but yeah, still loving it though.
What the heck is he going to upgrade?
He's not happy with something, so hey, you know, if he wants to upgrade, have at it, dude. He's doing a good job, but I mean, my only complaint with this is, and it's a minor complaint, is the clip is super, super tight, but it's really not a complaint because you want it to be tight. It's just sometimes it's hard to get on and get off.
Well, you got to quit wearing those skinny jeans.
I don't wear skinny jeans. Jackass. No, I found the trick to it, honestly. I had to play around with it a little bit, but I found the trick to it. So I haven't had too many issues with it lately, but that was the only issue I really had with it.
Have you heard anything about him making one for, because I want one for my 686.
Once you start selling the smaller ones, once he actually gets those going and gets a good following on those, then he's going to start working into the 4-inch, the 6-inch, and so on and so forth. But right now, he's just trying to get the small concealed carry ones going first.
Yeah.
I tell you, at work, a lot of customers come in. They're looking for holsters. And, you know, we're going through and just looking at the same old holsters, you know, where you got the Black Hawk and all these other ones. They can't find none. I've been passing out his website and stuff right and left.
Yep. Yeah, I've been passing out even before I even got the holster from him in a long, long time. You know, he's just a good dude all around and does a good job. So, him and a few others. There's a few others out there as well. I haven't got any of their holsters that are out there. You know, some of the other guys, but there are some that do a really good job. So, we ain't got it. You know, we just pass it out. Roll call. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Scotsman? Thanks for having me on your show. Fucking A, man. Let's rock.
Wait a minute. Did Roll Call actually do the first 102? That's just not right.
Yeah, I know.
We need to open the show up with a fuck it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we opened it up with a burp. You started with a burp, so.
Yeah, I opened up the show with a belch. Yes.
There you go.
All right. So Roll Call, what the heck is that thing?
This is a Heritage Rough Rider, boy. I'm ready to put that 22 to good use. I just got me 5,000 rounds of 22. Gonna use it in this old West wannabe gun. Look at that son of a bitch. Okay.
You got the 22 mag cylinder for that yet?
Hell no, I can't afford that, boy. I'm on a budget. You see my channel? Fucking budget guns. Look, I got shitty Tauruses. I got a Glock that crazy Scotsmen don't like, and I got to go down over there to Terre Haute, Indiana, pick up my CZ so I can get in the good graces of the Scotsmen. Woo.
That might actually get you in my good graces as well.
But it's not a hammer-fired one, so don't hate me. But I still got a CZ.
No, you got a CZ. You're good, dude. You earned some respect. That's why you're here.
Josh is proof of that.
Josh is living proof of that.
Oh man, we fought for months before I got one though.
And then even after you got one, you were still hard on it.
I was what?
You were still hard on the CZ after you got it.
Never mind.
But I mean, trust should be slowly earned and given.
Yeah. I still got to trade out my other Glocks, and I just don't know what I'm going to trade the Glock 43 for. I don't want the P365 yet. I'm not that confident in it yet. But
for whatever somebody give you for it.
Well, I would like a single stack, something like a single stack CZ that's the same size if they would make one. I know they made a Rami, but I didn't hear too many good things about that one.
My wife has a Remy. It runs. It's just not that accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
Robin Jones, she's out in the side chat. She has one. And I think she said that the sights are like 4 inches off on it. She can't do anything at all about it.
Yeah, I think she was shooting really high or really low. I remember seeing her video on it.
Does the Remy have that really strongly hooked trigger on it too? Yeah, no, not a fan of the strong hook.
Well, after like 100 years, another gun manufacturer is going to be releasing a pistol. So we'll see if that turns out to be a load of crap.
Should come in mossy oak.
But until then, I guess our governments, our state, federal governments, doesn't really matter. I guess they're just going to start making a new anti-gun law every day until the Second Amendment is no longer.
That's pretty much the way it seems. I got some links down below, guys. If you check the description, you'll see a bunch of links in there. Some of them are just Google searches, but if you click on it and you see the search, you'll understand how crazy it is when you actually look at it. You just type in gun bills 2019 and boom, it's just a flood of all kinds of random stuff that's just popping up. And it's just nuts.
Yeah.
But on the positive side, there are some positives to this. There's the Hearing Protection Act is back in Congress again, and also the National Reciprocity Act is back in there too. So those are two positives, but there's still a lot of negatives out there. There's got the National Red Flag Law, and damn it, I drew a blank. There's another one. It'll come to me.
Well, the National Red Flag Law is what's kind of really getting my goat at the moment. Rubio, I think, needs to go fall off a boat somewhere.
Get his head out of his
Let's
ass.
see, who did Marco join up with here? Support from Susan Collins out of Maine, surprise. Jack Reed out of Rhode Island, Democrat, and Angus King, Independent from Maine. So those were the 4 that are supposedly going to push this bill. Yeah.
They can all eat a bag of dicks.
Yep.
Pretty much.
It's such a sad situation. I mean, I know we don't have the House, and I know things could get, but still, even though we have the Senate, it's just like we don't really have the Senate. I'm just realizing how much. I mean, even if politicians somewhat care about our gun rights, it's the last thing on their list to take care of. It's the last thing that they care about. And then we got a bunch of them.
The other one is the universal background checks. Not just the national, but the universal background check.
Yeah, that way they can find out if you've been arrested on Mars for a domestic violence charge.
No,
they're constantly going after the Second Amendment, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but they're going after the Second Amendment first so that once they are able to get rid of that, then they can start eliminating whatever the hell else they want and not have resistance.
Yep.
That's the way tyranny works.
That's it. I was going to pretty much say the same thing. That's how it works, man. Me and Scott talked earlier, and it's just insane how it's just one thing after another. But that's how this works, and it's gonna get to a point where we're just not gonna stand for it anymore, and it's not gonna end pretty.
Yeah. Well, Florida has been heading in the wrong direction for the better part of a year and a half, 2 years now, and they can claim little dry mouth Marco all they want, but it's in the first for him. He supported magazine limits in the past, and he's also consistently gotten behind stiffer gun control laws throughout his stint. So, and they keep putting them in there. Freaking rhinos. I mean, I bet you.
And And I've even heard the fucker say that he is in support of the Second Amendment. And I'm like, your voting track record doesn't indicate that.
Oh, I'm sure he's NRA endorsed.
But here's the thing: if you are not standing up for the Constitution, for what you swore to protect and defend, then you are not doing your fucking job. You're doing the exact opposite of it and screwing the people that you were elected to be part of and for. Quit fucking the people.
Yeah, whatever their personal agendas are, whatever their party agendas are, that should be absolutely irrelevant.
Yeah, well, they do, and think about it. The Supreme Court of the United States, their sole job is to see if any law is constitutional. They're supposed to be that last stand out of the three branches that says yay or nay. This doesn't fit within the framework of what the founding fathers set up. But they have never, well, they rarely ever do that job. And if they do, it's a short or misinterpreted by a big number of them.
Well, unfortunately, they have learned how to manipulate things to where they don't get to the Supreme Court. They are very good at that, and that's our biggest problem. Is everything they shut it down before it gets there. I mean, they'll make a little compromise or something like that. You know, so the same thing with that Hawaii crap, where they said, okay, well, we'll allow, you know, open carry only. And they did that to where it wouldn't go to the Supreme Court. Had it gone to the Supreme Court, that would have gone, you know, national for all 50 states. If they would have made a ruling, it could have. But they knew to stop it before it got to that level. They were smart enough. The anti-gunners were smart enough to get that compromise, that little compromise, and stop it before we got what we wanted. And unfortunately, that's what we're always dealing with, though.
Yeah, because constitutionally, constitutional carry should be the rule of the land.
Yeah.
We'll take national reciprocity because that, at least within the framework of all of the approvals within states, gives us a range to travel without worrying, because I step 4 feet over a piece of land, I'm no longer a law-abiding citizen.
Well, the good thing about the only reason I want national reciprocity is because if we're going to New Jersey or wherever with firearms, with whatever we're allowed to carry in our state, and we're carrying it over there and they're not allowed to, that's not going to fly very long. Eventually, all those other states are going to be like, well, they're allowed to do it, then our own people that live here should be able to, you know, it's going to get to that point, I think, if we have national reciprocity. But I don't think it's going to happen anyway, so.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, actually. I was driving and talking to the Scotsman on the way back, and the fear when I heard that they're bringing back the Hearing Act, they're bringing back national reciprocity, is every time this has happened over the last couple of years, some major event has happened, some tragedy has happened, some mass shooting has happened.
Yep.
And just when it gets a little steam, these mysterious things happen, which are never thoroughly investigated, or nothing's ever told about what the FBI finds when they're looking into it. Not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the reality is we never find anything out. And then the media runs rampant with the bump stock this and bump stock that. Well, has there ever been any proof that was even used in Las Vegas? You know, so it's just we're run by the media, and the media is just, you know, they're cuddled up with the anti-gunners pretty much, and most of our government, which our government's more about the control and the power than they are about the gun control. That's just the control. Sorry, been pissy a little bit.
The big thing is they're going to pass these great things like constitutional carry in some states and national reciprocity, but in the end, it's all going to get taken away from red flag laws. And all it takes is your neighbor to bitch and complain. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And then where do we get with national reciprocity, constitutional carry, all that other great stuff? Then you won't even get to enjoy that shit because you're so deep in the hole of fighting to get your guns back because your neighbor's a dick, somebody else down the street's a jerk, or somebody else just doesn't like the way you live. And then what? Then you're screwed. You're screwed out of everything. So, you know.
Yeah, and then they're violating other rights by doing that with that red
Yeah.
flag. They're violating because you can't. There's no due process. They're just walking in and fucking taking your shit.
Taking your shit. And I heard it's going to cost so much more for you to get shit back that you're just eventually either going to run out of money or it's just going to be a dead issue. Yeah, you're going to give up. So
which is what they want.
Which is what they want. They'll give you that shit, man. Don't get me wrong. They'll give you that shit, but they'll take a ton of stuff. Not 1 inch. Shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed. And I'll be damned if my neighbors are going to bitch and complain because they see me mowing the grass and I got a gun on my hip. You know? And then I got what? Wait for the cops to come and they're going to bitch and complain. They're going to go get a court order. Then I'm going to have to what? No. That's why I'm moving out of the city. I'm moving to the country. I'm going to build a log cabin. And I'm going to eat squirrels and shit. And, you know, this not be a part of the world. Sorry.
You going to build your own wall too?
Well, you know what's really scary about the red flag law is if the red flag laws go through in the states that we're in or whatever, and someone reports us for something on YouTube that we said, a comment or a video that we made or whatever, and they interpret that to be, oh, this guy's not fit to have a firearm or whatever, that could come back to bite us. Even if they think we're being a little bit radical about the Second Amendment and they think that that's crazy or whatever, what if that could be used against us? I mean, if we get red flag laws, I don't even know if I'll have a YouTube channel up anymore. I'll probably change my channel name and be wearing a mask and shit to do it. Be like Del Dribble on King of the Hill, Rusty Shackelford.
Look what happened a few years ago when they didn't renew the propaganda law where the government couldn't use propaganda on citizens of the United States. I mean, right now, the media is in whose back pocket?
Yeah.
The anti-gunners. So right there, it's just flat out. You've got the media against you. The writing's on the wall. It is coming.
There,
kind of separate for a second, just a little on the lighter note. If you guys are out there, if you don't know Eagle Eye Shooting, he's 16 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. Friends, family, whatever you want to call it. We call them friends around here because you guys are all our friends. But he's 16 away. So go help him out if you're not already. And trust me, he's a good dude, makes excellent videos, excellent content. Go check him out.
Congrats, Eagle.
Yeah, nice.
Go ahead, Insight.
No, I'm just being safe. Josh got me thinking. So, you know, once it's up, it never goes away. So I'm just planning ahead.
Here, I'm going to be safe too.
Cheers. Yeah. Nobody will recognize that. This is going to be hard to drink.
Yeah.
Cut a hole in it.
Use a straw.
What gets me about these red flag laws is President Trump saying, you know, we'll deal with due process after the fact. If somebody's a danger, let's get their guns away from them and then deal with it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's complete and total backassage.
Yep. Well, and like Josh was saying, you know, just the content saying something that's interpreted funny or taken wrong, but because you know, we all know how sensitive people are in society today. Don't offend anybody, but just the fact that somebody could look on a channel and say, wow, he's got 12, 24, 36, 48 guns. What does anybody need that many guns for? You know, and then you become a crazy person just because you have more than just a gun.
Well, I've heard this. What do you need a semi-automatic for?
There you go. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too. But here's the other thing too: is what determines what is offensive. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, there's very little that offends me other than fucking libtard, you know, bullshit. It's hard to offend me. It really is. But just kind of like Daniel. Like Daniel was talking earlier that, you know, he almost knocked a kid out at work the other day. You know, I know Daniel. I can give him all kinds of shit. He ain't got to do a damn thing but laugh. It takes a lot, you know. So, you know, this whole crap of being offended by this, that, the other, just grow a fucking pair, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and Fuzz is bringing up something too. He's talking about the doctors and how complicit they are in a lot of this stuff that's going on. I thoroughly agree with you, Fuzz, on that stuff. The whole crazy medicate everything movement that's happened over the last 50 years in the United States. It has a lot to do with it, and it doesn't take much investigation. Just read the stupid commercials when they come up, and read the side effects of most of the stuff, and look at that stuff. It doesn't take a stretch to think when you're adjusting somebody emotionally, chemically, that there's potential for really bad things to happen from that. And it's become where it's almost like, you know, you got this, give you this. Well, that doesn't work. Put this with this, and then add this to it, and then let's play around with it until we get you where you need to be, which is most of the time, you know, brain dead almost.
Yeah, complete guesswork at best. You know, back in the day, it was, oh, you're down, here's Prozac, and that's that. And now doctors are going to prescribe the next biggest thing. They're pushing those drugs just as much as the sales company that's making them is doing.
Well, here's the other thing too. They do that. They do that with kids a lot too. Automatically, they're ADD.
Yep.
Because they're a little hyperactive. Fuck. All kids are hyperactive. Learn to control your damn kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through that with my son. I went to the parent teacher conference. I told him all that's wrong with him is y'all ain't making his ass behave. So call me if he gives you any trouble. I'll come up there and bust his butt and y'all can watch. Oh no, we can't have that. And then they all got like, well, that's typical. It's always the dad that resists. Yeah, it's usually a concerned dad that's going to resist you drugging his kid.
Yep. We went through that with the school therapist after the divorce in a sit down meeting, and they brought that up with my son, and I said, don't even start. You bring that up one more time, it'll be you and me in the school talking about it. And you have taken away everything they do. They have gym once a week. They may get a 30-minute recess if the weather's right. You've got a bunch of boys in here who need that activity. When I was their age, we had an hour outside every day. We had gym every day, and we got our energy out, and we'd listen when we were in class. But they don't let them do that anymore because they've got so much they've got to get through in their educational, you know, the daily routine they got to do, that they don't have time for just getting energy out anymore. So, yeah.
And the flip side to that too is when we all grew up, we got our asses whooped when we did something wrong.
Right.
Do something wrong today, and it's, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know any better. Fuck that. Smack the boy. Give him a fucking lesson.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that nowadays.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I got the fucking bamboo cane when I fucked up. You know how much that fucking stings? Holy fuck does that sting?
Yeah, it wraps around you really nice. Kind of
My
covers.
mom could hit me with anything, I swear, at 50 yards. If it was within her reach, she would grab it and chuck it, and it would hit me.
Who was that? Was that the Eddie Murphy skit where he's talking about his mom throwing shoes?
Yeah. On the phone, making up soup, and she reaches down and grabs her shoe and chucks it. Well, that's exactly what it was, though. The problem was my mom was a Diet Coke drinker. I can't tell you how many Diet Cokes I had to clean up after she threw them.
Yeah, Budget Gun Cinema says he got more than one broken wooden spoon over his butt. Yeah, I can agree to that. I broke, I think, all but one of my mother's wooden spoons over my butt.
Yeah, spoons, the fabric store yardsticks.
Yeah.
Michael Signs, I got the wooden paddle with the holes drilled in it.
I had that at
Oh
school.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we had at school. We had,
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
we all had an assistant principal that was in charge of whooping people's ass.
Yep.
That was his job.
Called him
Well, and when they took that out of the schools, which I would say was a good thing.
Yeah. Battle Bean got his ass kicked by penguins.
Penguins. Oh, geez.
When they took out the school administrator's ability to beat the kid, that I understand. But they also went after the parents too. And that's when they fucked it all up.
Okay,
how do you teach a level of respect that demands that kind of attention?
See, I know Jamie and Daniel are in enough to remember with me, old enough to remember, but the Dr. Spock stuff that was going on back in the 60s and 70s, that's where it all changed. That changed the culture.
Well, all of us, you know, we had our butts paddled in school. But Jamie, what did they do back in the Civil War?
It was bad, man. I can tell you what's wrong with kids nowadays and what's wrong with our school system. If y'all bear with me for just a second. Number one, they took prayer out of the schools. Number two, they took the paddlings out of the schools. And number three, they let the kids know they took the paddlings out of the schools. You put those two things back in schools and let them know it, you'll see a return to the values we grew up in.
Give them the Pledge of Allegiance back.
Oh, they haven't taken that.
No,
they have.
A lot of places they have.
Not in our school system.
It's funny, and I've said this before in chats too, and even when Rocco did an interview with me, I said it on his interview as well. When I first got to the States, I actually went to some of these schools because a friend of mine had kids, and I was helping them take them to school and that. And they actually stood there and did the Pledge of Allegiance. And it was amazing to see the transformation from when I first got here to a couple years later and nothing. It just fucking disappeared. It's insane. Yeah, I've just blows me away every day how so much of the history and natural culture of this nation is just slowly just dissipating away.
Well, that's why they drug the kids. I mean, everybody knows what a 4473 says on it. What do you think that's going to do? It's gonna limit the people that can get firearms. It's gonna limit the people to teach their kids to do firearms because they're all jacked up. I mean, for Christ's sake, they're legalizing marijuana for recreation, not just medical. And you know, hey man, don't get me wrong. Smoking weed is smoking weed, all right? But you can't own a firearm if you're addicted to marijuana. You just can't. And you know, I wouldn't recommend smoking marijuana and doing a self-defense act because that ain't gonna look good in court. And what these young kids don't know is drugs are bad and they should only be used for medical purposes. But when you start jacking them up on everything and you start giving them prescription drugs, that makes it 10 times worse. Because not only are they going to use marijuana now because it's legal, they're going to get prescriptions from drugs because their parents are going to put them on it. And they'll never be able to learn the values of firearms, what they mean, or anything. It's totally erasing firearms from the children. It's getting them ready to be slaves. That's my theory.
It's true. I mean, think about what these drugs do for ADD, for example. They just fucking mellow the kid out to nothing, to the point where they're just like, ugh. It's insane. And then they can just say what they want to say and fucking teach that kid what they want to teach them and raise them how they want to raise them. And that's essentially what it is. Now the schools are raising them, not the parents.
Yeah.
Back in the day, what happened to the kid that was always the smart mouth in school? He got paddled, and what else happened to him in the playground?
He got whacked.
By the other students. And now you took all
Maybe
that
I should
away.
clarify. Bald and Curious, not the New York whacked, but whacked.
HNX brings up a good point. He heard that states that if you use medical marijuana card, you're gonna have a CCW, which I've heard is true in my state. That if you have a medical marijuana card, you can't carry a gun.
Correct. You can't. It's still a federal law says you cannot have it.
Well,
Period.
the form added that one line in there, the use of, not the illegal use of drugs. They added that use of marijuana line in there.
Yeah. It's straight up federal. Doesn't matter which state it is. It's straight federal.
Yeah. So if you have a medical marijuana card, you can't carry a gun.
You can't even buy it. You can't buy a gun legally.
You can't even buy a gun. Yeah, you're a sheep, man. You're easy pickings for a tyrannical government, for a scumbag looking for a quick one. You are a sheep.
Roll call. That's one fun revolver, actually.
Yeah. It's like give up your gun for a Twinkie.
Yeah, Fuzz T brings up a point. He says as the government shutdown continues, there's no food stamps. There'd be an uprising. I don't know about that. I think the food stamps will continue, just like the congressmen and senators will continue to get paid, but the military doesn't. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I say keep it closed.
I think the military's
That
way
shit
more
closed.
Well, it's like this. If the military
way, hello, Midas.
if the military
Let's
doesn't
go.
get hi Midas. Yay.
Hey.
If the military don't get paid, I don't pay my mortgage next month.
Midas, what's going on, brother?
Not too much. Decided I'd pop in for a couple minutes or a little bit longer. Got work tomorrow morning, but figured I'd jump in and say hi.
Cool, man. You got anything you want to say about what we're talking about?
Well, just, I don't know, you guys pretty much are covering the gun laws, all the bullcrap gun laws that are going on, and I agree with Insight and Fuzz about like the doctors, you know, like they should be held accountable. And in one of Fuzz's videos, you know, he said, you know, if you give some kid psychotropic, you know, prescription drug, they should be monitored. You know, that's pretty dangerous to give someone some drugs that could have ill effects like suicide and, you know, depression and all that stuff, and just like push them out the door and see what happens. I think the doctors should be held accountable. I think the drug companies should be held accountable. And I think lawyers should be held accountable for defending criminals that are like circular criminals that go into the system, get out, create, you know, break another law, then go back in. Those people shouldn't be defended like that.
Yeah,
you know, I think lawyers have to, besides seeing dollar bills, they should think about who they're, you know, trying to keep out of jail.
Did something happen? Did something happen to that 3 strikes and you're out? You know, you commit 3 felonies, you're in jail for the rest of your life. Did they get rid of that or something?
They've got to
I
find a
doubt
place
it.
where they can put them all.
I don't think they listen to that anymore.
Well, see, here's the funny thing with that too is they change what it is. So it might be 1 strike for this, and then if it's in this bracket, it's the first strike again. They fucking do their little bullshit and swing it around so they don't get their 3 strikes.
Well, there needs to be, I don't know. It's a real slippery slope because sometimes innocent people do get put in jail. But I think there has to be harder penalties. You know, people that commit murder should be put down. People that rape people should be castrated. People that
Well,
you know,
that's the thing. I
mess
think-
with little
think how
kids,
much
they
money-
should have their hands and their dick cut off.
Think how much money this country wastes on jail systems.
Exactly.
If you
Same.
commit a murder, bam, that's it. You're done. Done. Don't put them on fucking death row. Don't let them sit there for 20 fucking years and eat away at taxpayers' money. Just fucking take them out back and shoot them.
Yeah,
Let the punishment fit the crime.
exactly. And it's like you hear about it mostly with the illegal aliens and stuff. Those guys don't get punished for squat. You know, like they'll barely spend any time in jail because there's some, you know, white knight lawyer come along and saying, oh, it's, you know, you're freaking trying to put him in jail because he's a legal alien and whatever, all that crap. But they get out and do the same thing.
Yeah.
And like there's
don't
like
get
national
deported.
cases where there's like a proven rapist or a proven murderer, they get let out onto the street and then they do it again. And it's like, why? Of course they didn't learn the first time, so why should we give them a second try?
Yeah.
You know, and just pop them in the head or something.
Yep. Beard CBA makes an excellent point. Rope is cheap.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even cheaper than bullet.
because you can reuse it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Indeed. But yeah, I think the punishments have to be harder that way. It's mostly because like people aren't scared of going to jail. You know, I get 3 hots and a cot and then I'll be back out on the street and keep doing whatever they're doing. Like the gang members and stuff, like it's just a vacation to them.
It is. It's the
And
same.
it literally is a vacation. They don't have to worry about their house. They don't have to worry about their fucking food. They don't even have to worry about taking care of their own damn kids.
And
It's
it actually builds up their street cred if they go to jail.
Yeah.
So what
Tax
the hell is that?
Thax out there makes a good point too. Too many civil rights people fighting for the illegals and all the bullshit instead of respecting the actual laws themselves.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Those were the words I was looking for that I couldn't find. But yeah, civil rights assholes. Even when it has nothing to do with civil rights. It's like freaking Nancy Pelosi saying the border wall is racist. Like, are you stupid? Obviously she's stupid, but that's like void of all common sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about fucking Pelosi. She's just a dumb cunt bitch.
Well,
So
hey, are
it
we
is
talking?
what it is.
Let's be respectful. Isn't
That
she
was
the speaker of the House now?
that was respectful. Dumb cunt bitch.
I'm just sarcastic.
I could go a lot worse.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
She is walking rigor mortis.
That was as nice as I could get, Daniel.
And in our special edition, the cunt night that we did have, we did talk about the fact that in Britain, that is considered like an untrustworthy politician is one of the interpretations of that word anyway. So just for
I believe
clarification.
that.
You know, SoCal makes an excellent point. Bring to life Running Man.
Hell yeah. I'd
Or
watch it.
Escape from New York. I'd be happy with just giving them, like an island and putting them there and let them hash it out themselves.
We did that, and now they make freaking Aussie beer.
You're right. You're actually right. And you know that Georgia was the equivalent in the colonies of basically a prison state.
Yep. Which explains why Scotsman
I love
moved
my
there
Georgia
when he came
brothers,
to the
Yeah.
States.
7 Wonders out there. Some idiot on YouTube said math is racist.
Math.
Yeah. Everything.
That's
can
a
be
kitty
racist.
not here
All
tonight.
fucking racist. I mean, come on, people. Wake the fuck up.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
that's
Vanessa. Vanessa usually jumps on the math questions.
Oh yeah, she's all about the
Yeah, I don't
math
see
stuff.
her out there at all. Talking to that, Alan, you want to run through the room again?
Yeah, I absolutely will. Current participation list is not showing everybody. VBorg, Tread, Stealth Hunter, Scott P 79, H&R Weapons Machinist, Fuzz Fork. There is also Disposable 762, Red October's out there, Eagle Eye, Insight Freedom in the room. Southern Style 357. Big Al, Bearded CB82, Captain Stark. What the fuck, SoCal?
What the fuck?
Tack from AOK Foraging and Adventures. Or at least we think it's Tack.
It is Tack. And guys, she was in a car accident, so if you guys could keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She's okay. She texted me. She's okay, but she's just real sore.
Oh man.
She got T-boned, but she's okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's some body shock right there. Everything like twitching at once. Damn.
Yeah. So you guys keep her in your thoughts if you would.
There's a Balding Curious out there. David Bowlings, 7 Wonders. And I don't know why the chat just moved a million miles an hour and I completely lost where I was at. Guess Who? Budget Gun Cinema. And there's probably quite a few others that I'm just not seeing. Oh, Mario Mosen. Guess Who?
And then we got Edward Patty.
Don't forget about the Battle Bean or Pro Carry Trucker.
Yeah,
Flash Matrix is also out there as well.
Hey, just a side note, tonight I can't read the side chat because when I rebooted my modem to get my laptop on, the other computer didn't connect, so I'm unable to answer all the hundreds of thousands of questions people are asking me. Sorry.
We were all kind of wondering why you were ignoring the side chat. We just kind of...
Well, that's why I felt like I had to make that broadcast. I can't see them. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And everything Midas said, ditto. I don't have a side chat tonight either.
Yeah. So if you guys want to follow me on Patreon and GoFundMe, maybe I can get a better modem. All that good stuff.
We can PayPal you. Can I PayPal you today?
No, I don't want anything from anybody.
It's just
not even respect. But yeah, that's that.
No, Midas makes his own. He doesn't need anybody to give him some.
Yep.
Midas, where is the champagne of beers tonight?
Kaboom! It's in my right hand.
Well, Midas, I'm not drinking the champagne of beers tonight, brother. I'm drinking
something much darker.
Barley wine.
There you go.
Yep, I got me some good old barley wine.
It was funny, the Scotsman, a while ago, you sent me that picture of like the champagne bottle that was the Miller High Life, and then someone else sent it to me. I think it originated from BEM Tactical, BM. I guess.
Tactical, yeah.
Yeah. So next time I see him, I'll have to tell him
he
that was
asked
awesome.
me to send it on to you.
Hell yeah.
And SoCal's out there and asked me to tell you flashback.
Flashback. Yep. It happens.
Pro Carry, we didn't forget you. It's just sometimes the way the system works between 3 different things, it doesn't always show everyone out there. So we didn't forget you.
I did mention him. I didn't see Joe out there. I didn't see a couple other people that have scrolled by in the past minute, though.
Yeah, it moves pretty quick, so we don't always see everybody. Cobra's out there.
Cobra. Boom.
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 Oh, you guys were talking about silly ass gun laws. I wish I could remember where I read the headline, but there's some anti-gun group out there wanting to ban rapid firing ammunition. And I was just like, what? But they want everyone to carry a musket? Like, what the hell is rapid firing ammunition?
They have no clue.
Exactly. So they're gonna say, "Oh, these bullets can be fired as fast as you can pull the trigger. We gotta slow that down." What do you want us to like crank out a new bullet every time we fire one or something? They're just like straight up idiots. I got like zero tolerance for that stuff anymore.
Maybe we should have to reload our rounds in between shots.
Yeah.
No turret.
I'm gonna
press.
reload my foot in their ass every time I pull it out.
Yeah, and with all these different things going on, I was going to mention this too and say this: buy as much as you can, reload if you don't already. Buy the stuff, reload, do what you got to do, stock up. Not saying we're going to need it, but you never know.
Yeah.
Those of you in the PA area know of the gathering and making
Tomorrow.
arrangements for Monday.
Unfortunately, I cannot do that. I don't have any time off available.
Yep. Red makes another good point. Buy extra mags. Have plenty of magazines.
Yeah. My extra
I would highly recommend if you don't reload and you're getting into reloading, I would highly recommend the Reloaders Network. I will throw a quick plug out there for them. The Reloaders Network is full of awesome people. A lot of people here on YouTube, gun streamers, and other places. But there's a bunch of us there. We're always happy to help answer questions. Jump on Slack if you're not on Slack. We can all help answer questions there as well.
Probably also wise to jump on as many of those discounted lower deals as you can get in the next several months.
Yep, absolutely. You see deals from Primary Arms, Palmetto State, all that stuff. Eat it up.
Hey, let me ask this: like the most general question, the most general answer, without getting into specifics, because we don't have to start talking about this all night. But what would you say basically is the get-in price to start reloading? $500, $400, $1,000.
No, if you go like a single stage, you could do it for as cheap as $200-$300. I mean, if you go,
That's buying it new though.
yeah, this is buying new. This is like for example, I started with a turret press, so I get my turret press right here. I bought the kit for under $200 for the kit, and then with the mount I have it on, the additional roller handle and stuff like that, upgrades and everything else that I bought. You know, I probably got about $350 in it total. But to start with, I spent like $200, and then primers, bullets, and a way to clean them. So I bought a sonic cleaner, so another $100 for a sonic cleaner. You know, you're $400 or $500 starting out with a basic press.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go full on nuts out, like Chico Wise and go with a 650 starting out, you know, then obviously you're going to spend the money for the 650.
So basically the price of a gun. Either get yourself set up or buy another gun.
Pretty much.
Mid-range gun, yeah.
That's a really good way to look at it. Is, you know, you can get yourself set up pretty cheap, I guess. You really look around. There's somebody that's selling a press somewhere.
You can find them used all over. I mean, I got the Square Deal B sitting right there that I found used. The guy had $350 on it. I ended up paying $250.
Oh yeah.
You know, but you can find used stuff all the time. Heck, even the new Lyman 8, I got that too. The Lyman All-American 8. If you look around right now, you'll see it for $300. I paid $179.
Nice.
You can find deals on them. You just gotta look.
Yeah. That's cool.
Don't ever buy the first thing you see. Research. Look at different websites. Take the time and find what you want.
Yeah, that's one thing. There's so many good people here. The Reloaders Network, if y'all aren't watching that on Friday night, I mean, you can ask questions there about specific stuff and get great information. There's lots of just other people, you know, SoCal and Coda and people like, well, Coda maybe not. He just like spastically just reload stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of people who reload. So there's a lot of good people to get info from. Definitely the Scotsman, who is catapulted up into like a major ammunition manufacturing operation almost. So
hell yeah.
I wouldn't quite go that far, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's a nice setup.
I got a few more presses and a few more things I want to do, and I'm gonna build another bench as well. So I'm gonna build it from scratch.
And then you hire a little Chinese worker to run it all the time.
Yeah, think about it. If I can get them across the border, you know, that terrible wall that's gonna be, you know, offending people.
Don't joke about that stuff. It's, you know, it's one thing about like the illegal aliens crossing the border and shit, but it's also another thing about the people that hire them. They're just as much to blame. So I work in like the home renovation sector, so I got to deal with that shit all the time. And I tell other contractors, like, hey, I don't speak Spanish. They're like, man, you know, you should learn. And all. I'm like, what? You should not hire people that can't speak English. You know, you got that shit backwards. Well, this is North America. English is the language.
That's it. You know, no offense to Battle Bean, who, I mean, he really doesn't take offense anyway. He actually speaks fucking English.
Now,
But
now
if,
I have to correct that.
if you jump fucking ship, speak the fucking language.
So what's Joey's excuse?
Joey's just fucking
He's New
Joey.
York.
New York.
That's
New
like
York.
fucking bald and fabulous.
What we speak here in the States is not English. What we did when we came over to create this country is we brought English with us, and then we perfected it. It's now called American.
Speak American, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah, we actually have a law in North Carolina that English is the spoken word of business, and you're supposed to speak English, but nobody follows that shit.
Well, and Cobra just put it out there because technically, according to federal law, there is no official language in the country. And so that came out quite a number of years ago. And so they started having to do it on the state level and all this. I'm like going, this is a waste of freaking government time.
And our money.
Yeah.
But that's what they do.
Yeah, they're good at that, wasting our money.
Oh yeah.
Wasting our money and making bullshit gun laws.
Yep.
I don't know. The only way, I've said this a few times, and it's impossible to do without some huge event. But the only way we're going to fix all this stuff is if we replace every politician with someone that's actually had to live a normal life and earned their money and hasn't lived off the government or our tax money. That's the only way.
Midas, I have a question for you.
Hit it.
Can today, at this point in time, can you name one that has actually fucking had that happen? That has actually had to earn a fucking living?
Trump.
There you go.
That's the only guy I know, and that's why I voted for him, because he wasn't a politician. And I know he's not the best. I know he screwed up and has said some dumb things about the Second Amendment with the red flag laws. I agree to a certain point that if there's someone making threats online and there's like a paper trail, yes, maybe somebody should look into it, but I don't know how to do that without like infringing upon our laws or, you know, going around the justice system. But if there's some guy out there saying, hey, blah, 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 I'm going to shoot you tomorrow, I'm going to school with a gun to kill these people. Like, how do we level that out? And what's just threats, what's just bullcrap talk, and what's an agenda?
Well,
You know,
there is a law out there, but that's ensuing a panic. If you start making those statements and putting them online, that's ensuing a panic, and they can go after you for that.
Good point. But okay, take for instance my channel. Like, people may see me like, you know, rapid firing off my back porch and think I'm a danger, but yet what people don't know is it's legal in my neighborhood, it's legal in my state. I'm following the laws. I don't have anyone else on my property. I know exactly where my bullets are going. They're going into the earth in my backyard. but people just watching a video, they're like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. He could, you know, shoot up blah, 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 whatever. That's why I'm kind of sketchy about the red flag laws. But as far as I know, only family members and law officials can make that red flag happen. Unless
No,
I
I'm
don't know
wrong.
about
Your
that.
fucking
I think it's
neighbor.
anybody.
Your neighbor can fucking report you if they want to, dude.
The principal at the school can report your kid.
Law. I mean, they can literally fuck you in the ass and not even give you a courtesy reach around or anything. It's just straight up, hey, he's doing this. Boom, there you go.
They're even going so far as if you have a nephew or something that's at school that says that he's going to go steal your guns and shoot up the school, they're going to
Then
come
you get in
knocking at
trouble
your
for
door.
Yeah.
Yep. And Cobra makes a really good point out there, and I've said this before too, but we got to have term limits.
Term limits, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was
yeah.
it that brought it up? Was that Cruz that said that?
I think it was.
Somebody said they're trying to bring up a bill that there's term limits for Congress and Senate, and I totally agree with that because I've been saying that for years. It's not the president that's the problem; it's the congressmen and senators that's the problem, and we need to get rid of the career politicians. Period.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yep.
got to get rid of the term. We got to get term limits. We got to get rid of them being paid for fucking life, the same fucking wage, even after they're done.
Yeah.
They got a fucking regular retirement like anyone else, like any fucking other American. They don't fucking get bullshit pay for the rest of their fucking life. No, fuck that.
And they
get
had to.
whatever they're supposed to get as an actual fucking retirement, that's what they're supposed to get. You know.
Social Security, and you'll fix Social Security overnight.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. And these assholes like Obama and Bernie Sanders that have done nothing their whole life except for speak at conventions and get, you know, paid off our money. We can't let those people get in. They don't know what real life is.
I don't know if you saw or not, but Obama's back and fucking trying to put himself in the fucking limelight again. That fucker needs to just disappear.
Oh yeah.
Can't do it. He's too narcissistic. He's not going away.
Crazy shit about Obama. Now that asshole came into the picture here. When he first, I think it was his first term, he was for a wall. He was anti-illegal immigration, and then he flipped. And it's like, what the hell? He sounded like Trump on his first term.
If we had an actual investigating media or just an honest media that pointed out inconsistencies, that's all they have to do. They could point it out. I mean, we can find it ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Very simple thing like that. They won't even take the time to report on it, you know, because they want whatever's wanted at the time. They want that. They want to fight against a wall because it's unfair to the people, because we're the melting pot, and we've got to let people in here. Our country's made up of. But
here's the thing, though, is you can still let them in. They can come. They can fly here legally, file the fucking paperwork, and do it the right fucking way, and not try and run across the fucking border.
Well, and you know it, and you know it's a process, and you know I respect anybody who goes through the legal process to be here to work on a working visa or to become a citizen, because it isn't easy. You know, personally, it's not just like, hey, I want to be a citizen, and then all of a sudden you wait 6 months and you're a citizen. It's a job. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So do y'all think that Trump will go, because you know it's never going to go through with the House and the Senate? Do y'all think that Trump is going to go ahead and declare a state of emergency to build the wall?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
He fucking needs to.
Yeah, I mean, look at what they sent. Look at what they sent for the anti-nuclear deal, the deal that they worked out. What did we ship over there? $150 billion or something like that, and they're bickering over $5 billion to build a wall.
Yeah, we just sent like $7 billion down to South America to help out with some fucking tree frogs or something. It's like, you can't build the damn wall.
I'm sure everyone here, including Midas, would fucking step up and say, hey, you know what? You need help to build it? Let's fucking do it. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
I'll be right there. I'll fucking start stacking those bricks. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
I mean, look
I
at
would.
how much money's already been raised on the GoFundMe just from citizens that are behind it wanting to do it. There's an excess, there's millions of dollars already contributed to that right now.
Yeah, they said they can't use it though for some reason. I don't understand that.
Yeah, federal government said that they cannot utilize those funds.
Why not? They did it for the Statue of
You
Liberty.
see the guy that started it, the wounded veteran that started it, go to Pelosi's office to try to collect her dollar that she promised. That was her goal. Of course, she was, while had an appointment with him, she was no longer in her office when he showed up.
I bet. She's probably in her cryo chamber getting recharged, that hag.
She inherited all the Michael Jackson cryo stuff when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably.
She's like Darth Vader. She gets in one of those little balls.
Yep.
I will make anti-gun laws.
There's an old silo full of eggs that all the old politicians in Washington all get into. Ruth Bader and everybody, they go crawl into their chambers at night.
Oh.
Well, and there's been a couple of reports as of sort of late that I've seen that has talked about a couple of different senators, and I can't remember their damn names to save my life because I'm horrible with names. But they went into the Senate virtually broke. Now they're like multi-millionaires.
I believe it.
How the hell does that even happen when you're a senator? That's it.
Watch Ortez. She's starting at ground zero. Watch her in 4 years. She'll be a millionaire.
Yeah, that bitch was a fucking waitress, and then she started. I think she's asked for money because she couldn't afford to live in Washington.
Couldn't afford
and like just put a timestamp on that and see what happens when she comes out, and she'll have book deals. She'll have this. She'll have like some kind of freaking side business going on, and she'll be collecting our tax money. It's freaking disgusting. And she's a full-on, no shame in saying she's a socialist.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Why do we even let those people into our government? Because we are not a socialist country. We are anti-socialist.
Here's something else, too, that I don't think anyone's ever brought up, too, is shouldn't we have some kind of check, a universal check, for them before they can even become a fucking politician?
You would think, huh?
Yeah.
Obviously not, or Obama would have never been elected.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking.
That piece of shit fucking made it in somehow or other. He greased the right palms.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
for
thing,
him.
though, is there is a very minor background check when you do become the president. And why he was able to get away with it is beyond me.
Because the liberal media didn't want to report on all the facts that they had. They just didn't say it. They didn't lie about it. They just didn't report it.
They just omitted it.
Yep. And that's what they do with Trump now is you'll never hear MSN or CNN talk about how good the country is doing or how the numbers are up or the economy is good or like Mexicans and blacks have the best working numbers now. They'll never say it. They won't lie about it. They just won't report it.
They'll say that migrants or immigrants or they'll say that blacks and Hispanics have lower unemployment rates now because of what happened when Obama was
there. You go. There you go. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Obama himself tried to take credit for the economy. It has nothing
at all to do with what Trump's fucking done in the office. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with what Obama did. And that's the response to these. And I've heard these people say this so many damn times. I just want to fucking beat them with a stick.
Oh,
There has historically been a truth to the fact that the past president has a latent effect economically. There is absolutely no truth to that this time, because this is to positive things that they knew that he as a president would push, both in trade and economically here, that have impacted the economy. The confidence level is not because of anything that Obama did, which was next to nothing. If we look at his record of what he did while he was sitting mostly played golf, but while he was in office, golf and expensive vacations on our dollar, he had nothing to do with the positive economy right now. That all has to do with consumer confidence based on who the president is at this moment.
Yeah, he had no effect on what we're dealing with now, and he actually had, besides the obvious saying he had the negative effect, but he was up there, and it's on video saying those jobs aren't coming back. You know, these jobs are gone. You know, technology is replacing. Yep. We're not going to build this. We're not going to ever be, you know, natural resource independent again. And Trump blew all that crap right out of the water.
Yep.
Here's the only thing that fucking piece of shit ever did was put the fucking people down. Yeah. All he did. All he ever fucking did.
That's you didn't do was. That.
I'll disagree with you there, Scotsman. He also divided the races more than anything else.
Yep.
He didn't bring citizens of this country together. He drove them further apart.
No, I was saying he brought them down. He didn't raise them up like he's supposed to. He brought them fucking down and tore them apart.
He was a magic catalyst. I mean, he was the catalyst that brought on Antifa. He was the catalyst that brought on all that. Not by himself. Even he can't claim credit for something as big as that or as minor as that. He can't claim it because there's a lot of money behind that, and it's not his.
The Occupy movement. He was 100% behind the Occupy movement, and from there, that's where you're getting Antifa and everything. That was the seed for all that.
Yep. And praised. Yep.
And don't forget,
Trump, on the other hand, just like Baldwin Carey said out in the side chat, 100% true. Trump sold rice to China. So, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Don't forget also, man, you know, there's all the money he shipped overseas to the fucking terrorists.
That was another thing that I was going to mention about Obama is when the fuck did we start paying terrorists?
Yeah.
You know,
when Obama was in office is when we started doing that shit.
Shipping this country, if I remember right, this country does not fucking negotiate with terrorists. It means we don't fucking pay you.
Unless $150 billion dropped from a helicopter onto your runway.
Yeah. And it was in physical money. It wasn't like a couple keystrokes of like fake digital money. It was actual.
But see, where's that? Where's that in the news and all that? That nothing. They're just fucking just under the water.
Yep.
John Kerry was a brilliant person, wasn't he? He worked out a deal that really had positive impact, and it brought us some security in the Middle East and no fear of any kind of nuclear attack ever again. So it was a small price to pay.
Shit.
Well, you got sarcasm across my screen.
Okay, now you gonna back up here. When you're talking about politicians never done anything in their lives, well, Hillary, she got in business after she left. Or no, actually, she started while she was a senator. Remember that Uranium One deal?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, letting the Russians buy our uranium here, our mines, and kicking ranchers off their land.
Yep, damn right.
CV said it was a C-130 full of cash.
There you go. It was big. It was a load.
Yeah, a load of crap. Yeah, it's just so freaking messed up. I've got hopes for Trump, but he's way outnumbered, and you can't expect someone that causes the problem to fix it. Our government causes the problems, and then they're like, okay, if you give us more funding, we'll fix it. It's like, no, give it to the private sector. We'll outdo you any day of the week.
Here's my only problem with Trump, and I got two issues with Trump. Number one, he needs to step up and do what he said he was going to do and support the Second Amendment and follow the Constitution in which he swore to protect and defend. And the second part to that too is he has literally not done. Here's the second part to this. He needs to do what he said he was going to do and grab him by the fucking pussy and quit being a little bitch.
Yeah. But like I say, he's outnumbered. He's like, there's a couple guys that got his back now, but his the whole half of his first year, people were, just skating because they didn't think he was going to last at all. They didn't have any trust in him. They're like, he doesn't even want to be president. It took a half a year for the other Republicans to actually start stepping up. And
I get that. There's a lot of people against him. There's a lot of people against him that are close to him. I get that. But at the same time, he still needs to step up and do what he swore to do.
Yeah.
And they all need to do what they swore to do. They all need to swear to uphold the Constitution, period. Period.
Yeah. Uphold and defend.
A history lesson. There's plenty of people who can give them an incredible history lesson if they've forgotten in all of their whatever you want to call their educational process.
Yeah. They swore to uphold
the American people
need to do so.
Yeah, the American people need to wake up. This last election, how many eligible voters went and voted?
And that's the other thing too. The American people themselves. And you guys can get pissed at me if you want, but man the fuck up. Grab him by the pussy. Let's go. Do the fucking shit. Man the fuck up. Get your ass to the fucking voting station and vote.
Like
how many 18-year-olds and older that can go out there and vote have actually gone out and registered to vote? Not just the registered voters, but every eligible American. I mean, we're only the people that are voting are just a very small percentage. Maybe 20% of all Americans are voting.
Yeah,
we got to wake up.
Yeah, kids, make sure you're raising your kids right. Make sure you're talking to them, explaining the process of voting, what you should be looking at, what you should, should you be trusting this, should you be trusting that. Make sure they understand all this stuff so they can learn and decide for themselves. Don't let them just follow the fucking norm of the bullshit they're being told.
I see that as a major problem because most of the younger generations are going down the social path or believe the Democrats and believe the mainstream news because their young mushy minds are soaking up all that stupidity.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We are outnumbered.
Raising them right and not letting them being raised by the schools and by the bullshit out there.
No. We can't raise them right. Hell, they're not even teaching them cursive anymore. So how are they supposed to even read the Constitution?
Yeah, they aren't teaching them right because the majority of the teachers are socialistic scumbags that were, came out of the hippie era.
Yeah, and there's another good comment out there as well. How many dead people voted?
Am I seeing the Texas flag show up there?
Yep.
Is that Uncle Dan?
We got a good friend, a good brother, and I haven't seen him in a long time. But we got Uncle Dan. What's up, brother man?
Man, I'm good. Today's the last.
He's here.
We can't hardly hear him, but he's here.
Can't hear me.
Talk, man.
A little better.
We'll shut up.
Yeah, man, I'm good. Today was the last day of deer season, so I only killed one deer. a little bit earlier in the year, spike buck. And that's about it, you know. So, but been busy having a good time. I see you guys have got a good political chat going.
There's always next year, Uncle Dan. There's.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I only got one too, Uncle Dan.
Well, we got between me and my boys and Uncle Don, we've got a freezer full. So
You know what? You and Uncle Don, what falls in between deer season? You got a lot of hogs to get rid of. Eradication is ongoing.
We do have a lot of hogs, and at least during the deer season, hog hunting has been tough. We've had a bumper crop of acorns, or as we call them in Texas, acorns, and they've stayed in the thickets. And actually, did see some hogs yesterday evening, about 12 or 15 come out in a bunch, and they made it to the woods before I could get a shot at them. But they're a little bit out of range. It was late in the evening, but yeah, we're going to start concentrating on hogs now. So
you guys eat those hogs or just blast them?
What, Midas?
Do you guys eat them or just shoot them?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we eat all we can. We obviously can't eat as many as we kill.
Right.
We eat all we can. We give away all we can. In the hot summertime, we typically hunt, with 5.56 and just shoot them and hope they run out of the field because, they're destroying our pastures and our hay meadows and whatnot. But yeah, we do eat them, but we don't eat all of them. We kill.
They breed faster than you can kill them, for sure.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, people say, well, that's terrible to think about, shooting something in the middle and letting it run off, but they're not supposed to be here. And I enjoy hunting them, but it is, pretty much every spare moment, we're trying to control the population because they're destroying our land.
Well, hey, Uncle Dan, because you jumped in late, we got to have a gun check because I know there's a gun nearby you somewhere.
Well, how many you want? I've got a
one or two.
Secure AR-9. I have a Rossi 92 made over by the famous
nice
Gus Smith, Nate Kiowa Jones. Here's a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Here's a 300 Blackout.
Texas, ladies and gentlemen, Texas.
Here is a 5.56.
You only got a couple.
Well, right over there is a Shockwave.
Of course.
Gun.
Because there's nothing more American than a Shockwave, for sure.
Yeah. I'm kind of. Wait a minute. Wait. One more.
There's a Glock. There's a Glock.
No, I showed the Glock. And here is my wife's pink Red Ryder. And I saw this right here is the most awesome, deadliest thing. This is an assault weapon.
I was going to say, man, that thing's deadlier than the Glock.
If you don't think it's an assault weapon, you should be a redbird, trying to eat peaches out of my yard. I just saw it.
So, Uncle Dan, in that Bentwood rocker, do you have to rock each one of those guns to sleep at night, just so that you're safe while you're sleeping, or you feel safe without rocking?
I generally sleep with 3 or 4 of them. If I could teach them things to cook, I'd run my wife off. You know what I mean?
We love you, Uncle Dan.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see you, brother. It's been a while.
Yeah, good to be here. It has been a while.
You and I still got to do some video about all those other things that are way more dangerous than guns when you get time, when you get off all your overtime and deer hunting.
I mean, you compile the data, we need to do that. I think at this point, everywhere we turn, now we got Marco Rubio, to start with red flag laws. You got Trump, you got the NRA. I mean, everybody's against us. It's about come to the point. Here's what I'm thinking, guys. I guess I am taking this over, but 2019 is going to be a pivotal year. depending on the lawsuit with GOA, how that goes, with Tim from the Military Arms Channel, God bless him. If that is not overturned in the courts, we're going to really be looking at some problems by the time our next presidential election comes up. Now we got,
and Uncle Dan, you brought up an excellent couple points there, brother. So number one, the NRA is a piece of shit, and you need to make sure you get rid of them. But check the descriptions again down below. There's a link to the GOA for a lifetime membership. And here's the cool thing with the GOA and the lifetime membership. You can pay a little bit every month for that lifetime membership instead of all up front. So that link is right there. Go join the GOA and help them out, and they'll take care of us, and they'll fight the battles, because the NRA is not fucking fighting. They're just doing what they do best and saying, we need money, but ain't doing shit for us.
They're always begging for money. Every single time I turned around with the NRA, it was like, oh, well, can you donate for this or donate for that, or
Wayne LaPierre asked me to ask you.
The thing with the NRA that really pisses me off is every week I get 1 or 2 calls, and it's always from a different phone number from a different fucking state. It's never the same place, never the same state, never the same phone number. And I pick it up. If I pick it up and they go, this is the most critical time for us, we're fighting the biggest blah, blah, blah. Well, then get off your ass and actually fight the fucking battle.
Yeah, that adds a lot of legitimacy when you start spoofing phone numbers from your organization. And Uncle Dan, man, I appreciate you putting that bump stock challenge out there. I think that was important. I think we've got to remember how many times the NRA has, with their 3-dimensional chess game that they're supposedly playing, played away with our right one little bit at a time, because they've got this strategy going, which their strategy is how do we get more money into our organization? How do we pay for this and do nothing? How do we keep playing a game that people will buy?
They are a political party.
Yeah, they are.
The NRA is the biggest fucking sham ever, next to government. It's the biggest fucking sham.
They basically are just like the government, and their money increases whenever we're threatened. But they've been behind every major ban since 1934. They supported all of it. And along with some gun companies, even like Ruger, which I'm a Ruger fan, but, Bill Ruger was like, yeah, I don't need it. And, I mean, it's, it is what it is, but, I tell you today, I ordered some gun parts from Midway USA, and automatically checking out, they have checked that you're donating to the NRA. Now, if you don't see that, it'll donate like $1 or $2 or whatever. And then you have to really pay attention when you make your order to go down there and go, no, thanks. And I'm like, I mean, they're even, like they'll get your money and you don't even know about it, So
they just really have gotten to the point where they need to quit putting any indication of a 2A supporting organization into any advertising they do, any fundraising that they do. I'm totally behind the NRA being the National Hunting Association, because ultimately that's what they are. The 2A to them is about us having hunting rights. It's not about us having rights. It's not about us having God-given rights to protect ourselves from the government, to be the equivalent to the government, to be the militia that keeps them in check. They're not about that.
Yeah, they changed their name to the NFA, National Foot Association.
Well, hey guys, this phone's going to die on me here, so I'm just going to say bye-bye.
Daniel.
Bye, Daniel.
Love you, brother.
Daniel.
Right.
Good man.
Night,
Take care, brother.
If you look into what the NRA really supports, what they really put our money into, or people's money that actually donate to them, what they really put their money into is like rodeos, like y'all said, stuff having to do with hunting. Like in California, all the crap to keep the what the hell, the grouse for their habitats and all that crap. The NRA is funding crap like that like crazy. That's where they put all the money. Well, besides Wayne LaPierre's pockets, but
yeah, administratively,
yeah. So rodeos and hunting and all that shit.
Other side businesses.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
pretty
how
much
do you
nothing to do
think
with
they
guns.
came up with all the money for their insurance program for concealed carriers?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, there are two different factions. You know, the NRA, which is focused on gun safety and hunting, and then what is it, ILA or whatever, which is
ILA, Institute for Legislative Action.
Institute Legislative Action, yeah.
both of them suck.
They really do. But I mean,
Well, I mean, here's the thing with the NRA, like the NRA training and stuff like that. If you actually get into it and you start looking at it and look at the fees and that, their fees are ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah.
So your basic RSO training isn't too bad, but once you go to I want to be a pistol trainer, or I want to be a rifle trainer, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, you're $400 or $500 every fucking time.
Yep.
Yeah, but what they have.
I don't shoot at a range. The only time I ever shot at range is when I was a competition skeet shooter. That you have to be an NRA member to shoot. I've seen several videos where people are saying, if you're not a member of the NRA, you can't shoot at this particular gun club. You know, pistol, rifle, you know, whatever the case may be. And I don't know, you guys probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, I haven't experienced that, but I'm sure that's true in some places. I do think that what the NRA did well for a long time was youth shooting. You know, the training and the safety aspects of that, and that's one of the things that I see as sad that has changed from the time that I graduated back when the dinosaurs still walked the earth, and now
back in the 1800s.
Yes, is that we still had, you know, that gun safety training. We still had the, you know, where we went and shot 22s and stuff, and you could do stuff like that. Now it's moved away from that. And I think kids not having knowledge of guns and gun safety is a huge part of the problem.
Yeah, especially with all the video games showing you shoot somebody and get a redo.
Yeah, redo, regenerate,
respawn.
Yeah, whatever happened to the Eddie Eagle program?
Oh no, it's gone. I mean, and I've talked with because Clover kind of got me. Clover Tech kind of got me interested in some of that stuff, and checked in because my daughter was real active in the equestrian stuff here in the county. But you know, they do some of it, but it's all like BBs and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, y'all still not do like 22 marksmanship and things like that, and they really don't anymore around here, and that shocks me because I'm in rural. When I'm here in Middle Tennessee, I'm in a very rural county, so it shocks me that that's still not a thing.
Yeah, and it used to be, what is it? Damn it. Like the Boy Scouts and stuff like that, they used to do a lot of shooting programs and stuff as well. And that hasn't, from what I've seen and what I've heard from a lot of places too, because they came and visited us on multiple occasions and asked us if we'd put something on for them too, because they don't do them anymore.
Yeah. I did it in summer camp when I was growing up. We used to have a marksmanship program in summer camp, and we shot 22 rifles, and I enjoyed that immensely. I don't see that available for kids anymore today.
It's still there. It's just not advertised as much as it was. I still do some training for adventuring crews that in my local area that want to do rifle and pistol, because Boy Scouts can't do pistol, but venturing crews can. So we do pistol shooting for them. That's one of the few reasons that I still hang on to my NRA membership, is because I'm NRA certified for rifle and pistol, and if I want to re-up that, it'll cost more if I don't have a NRA membership. So that's one of their crazy things. But yeah,
their
Boy Scouts
prices
still
are
do it.
insane.
Oh yeah, we give the scouts the bare bones minimum, which is basically they're covering the cost of the books, and it's still $20 a kid or something like that. Which, you know, it's tough to sell $20, and that we're not charging them any fees for all the range officers or the certified instructors that we have on staff. I mean, we're donating our time for the scouts, but the NRA doesn't do anything like that. They still charge you the fees for the books and everything else, and it's outrageous.
Yeah, it's insane. I forget how much the books cost because it's been a while since I had that book, but it wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see come out of all this is that that the NRA becomes no compromise when they see the backlash, and I see a lot of people excusing Trump and the NRA, talking about this 3D and 4D chess. Hey, let's just play checkers. But I'd like to see them get on board and go, hey, you know what? We blew it. Get rid of Wayne LaPierre, Chris Cox, any of those guys like that, and see the GOA grow as a result of this. And ultimately, if that don't happen, we're going to actually, it may come to what Washington and Jefferson would have done a long time ago, and that is helping folks get to room temperature, help them get their blood pressure to zero.
Yep.
And we don't want to see that happen. Obviously, that's the last thing we want, but
I don't care.
They're never going to get rid of Wayne LaPierre.
I don't care.
Well, they don't.
Everybody and their brother talks about, oh, well, get rid of Wayne LaPierre. How many years and years have we heard
Decades.
get rid of Wayne LaPierre? No, but they're not going to do it. He will have to step down.
Well,
Decades.
I'll say one thing. Rude Badger Ginsburg, got terminal cancer, and it could happen to him too. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, first of all, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But, he ain't going to live forever.
Seems like Ruth Gator Ginsburg's been living forever. That bitch is dead walking.
Yeah.
But yeah, the NRA is not at all dependent on our money, on our memberships. They get their money from companies and all that. They get way more money from companies and all that shit than they do from.
But they'll still call you every damn week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Springfield knows how that affected them, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, and we're almost at that time.
What?
Well, before we head that direction, Phil, did you have that Walter there? Is that what you were wanting to fill us in about?
Oh, yeah, I went shooting today. I had 5-6 guns out. I had my mother and my sister shooting, and I come home and I was starting to clean guns, and as you should, I was safety checking all my guns before I cleaned them, and I did two or three guns, and I come across the Walter, and I popped the slide back, and out comes a round. I was like, well, shit. You treat every gun as it's loaded, and I did, and a round come out of my table. I'm like, holy shit. I didn't know there was a round in the chamber. But, that's just one of those things you don't think about. And luckily my good habits took over, and I went to crack the slide back, and a round popped out, and I was like, wow, that thing was loaded. I didn't even know it. So, it's just one of those things you got to watch. And, my training was good enough for me that I popped the slide back to make sure it was empty, and it wasn't, before I pulled the trigger to tear it down.
Yeah. And that's a huge thing. Anytime I hand a gun to someone, I always rack it, slide open, hand it to them. They hand it back to me. I expect the same.
Yep.
I do the same thing. It doesn't matter if I watch somebody rack it or not. It's just a habit whenever somebody hands me a gun to double check.
Yep.
No, the people that I tell them, I'll tell them, I'll sit here and I'll pull the magazine and I'll take the one out of the chamber and then I'll check it and then I'll hand it to you. And then what do you do?
Check it.
Check it.
You check it because now it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
But that's a good share right there because you kind of take it for granted sometimes. You know, there's a lot of people that take it for granted, and it's important to think about that stuff because it can happen. It can happen easily.
And real quick insight, brother, you have an excellent picture up right now. Would you like to read that out for everyone?
Well, you know and again, I was talking with you about this today, and I don't know how many people are watching. I think it's on Wednesdays. It's either on Wednesdays or Thursdays that Kevin the Tack Daddy's been doing this armed citizen thing, and you know he was down there with children and in the middle school right next to the Stillman High School when that happened this summer down in Parkland, and they were showing the actual police footage of the event that happened in the shooting down there, and it was a play-by-play deal. It was an analysis of the event, and what amazed me was the amount of opportunities for action, both on the school safety officers, on the Broward County Police Department, and then on the main, not the main police department, but the adjoining police department that kind of split with that school, how little action was taken during that shooting. And if you have a chance to go back and look at that, that has been an enlightening discussion over the past month or so. And I would encourage you to watch that because it baffles me that there was one in particular RSO that literally throughout that whole period, and they're shown on a graph on a map on there where they were at any given point, basically hovered into a safe spot and never moved. And within one point, he was within 100 yards of seeing this student leaving the building where he had massacred so many people, and he did nothing. He cowered into his position, and it baffles me. It baffles me how a human being can see something like that going on and take no action. No action. No action.
And it's funny, I was on a chat. It's been a few months ago now, but I was on a chat. I think it was Sarge, C4 Defense. And there was another member on the panel who was arguing back and forth with me about, well, if it came down to it, would you really want to run down the hallways and try to go find this person, or would you rather sit in the room with the children and try to protect children in the room? And I was trying to tell him, like, dude, if I know there's someone out there, I'm going to the threat. Yeah. I ain't going to sit there and fucking wait and let people die. I'm going to fucking go to the threat and address the threat. That's my job as a concealed carrier. That's my job as someone who steps up and says, I'm going to go carry a gun legally. That's my fucking job, and that's my damn right.
Yeah. It's a possibility for every single one of us that carries that we might be in an area where things are happening. And that's when your personal decision comes into play. Do you just worry about you and your own, or do you worry about the other fucking people that are around you? And I'm the same way as the Scotsman. I hear gunfire, I'm going to be the one going towards it.
Yeah, I think it's more of a responsibility. You know, if you have a way to protect everybody else, it's your responsibility to go towards it.
Well, there's only really one way to find out.
Yep.
You know, and that's the truth. But when I see children, I see my children, and there's freaking nothing that I'm not going to do to protect my children. And when I see other children, I see them as the same as my children. I can't imagine sitting there and hearing what was going on there and not taking some kind of action, hiding behind a freaking wall or whatever he was doing and not taking action. That to me,
that's what this guy was talking about on that chat, is he would rather hide in the fucking room and not doing anything. And I'm like, what kind of fucking man are you? What kind of actual fucking gun owner are you if you're going to sit there in a fucking room and not step up and do what you're supposed to do?
I could understand a teacher that was a concealed carrier, or whether they were or they wouldn't, you know, locking their room down and protecting their kids and maybe not going out and pursuing the shooter. But I certainly can't understand that from a law enforcement perspective or a school resource officer, where that is their job. That's what they're paid to do, to not go, you know, and engage the, you know, the person.
Yeah, exactly.
The court just decided that that's not their obligation, didn't it? Didn't the court decide that neither police nor these safety officers?
Yeah, they said it wasn't their obligation, which I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be mistaken, but they swore to protect.
Yeah.
Well, that's the debatable part. To serve and protect has been a slogan for law enforcement forever. But it's just that, it's a slogan.
Yeah.
They don't technically have a requirement to do anything.
Well,
here's my thing with that: is it's not a requirement, but what fucking human being can stand by and let innocent fucking children? Let's just go with children, for example, and stand by and let innocent fucking children be fucking murdered because they ain't got the fucking balls to run indoors gunfire.
We'll take that particular tragedy as the example. The captain, I believe it was the one that had made the decision.
Not Israel.
They had a standing rule where you did not go into any situation without backup. Okay, I understand that fact. Still wouldn't stop me. I would violate my company policy and go.
They obviously never watched Die Hard. Fucking do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I would just
Got to get home for Christmas.
Best Christmas movie ever, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
I'll drink to that.
But the slogan's pretty much changed. It's no longer to protect and serve. If you ask police what their number one objective is, many of them will admit, most of them will admit, it's for me to get home safely.
Exactly.
That's the new slogan, for me to get home safe. You know.
Well, isn't that like one of the major reasons we all want a gun for personal defenses, because we don't think a cop will show up in the right amount of time?
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Well, that's it. That's the thing.
It's a big
Your average response time compared to the average response time of my 357 is quite a bit.
They show exactly how long it takes to get from point A to point B. It doesn't really matter, because they're only showing up to do a report.
Yeah, I mean, if
they're not going to be able to prevent the crime from happening.
Yeah, if they can't go in and do anything without backup, then what the fuck are they even doing there?
Well, and here's the thing, and I'll kind of go back to that, and I actually will encourage you to participate in the Armed Citizen live chat. It's just 1 hour every week on Kevin the Tack Daddy. It's worth your time. It doesn't conflict with anything that I know of, but it's worth your time regardless of if it does. But Peterson who is the RSO that's on site, who has a link to the Broward County, took retirement after his no action, and his retirement is full pay.
6 figures.
6 figures. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he is taking a comfortable retirement after showing that he was incapable of doing anything to help those.
And that's the bullshit we're talking about. Exactly. That should not happen. Why should he get that when he couldn't step up and do the fucking job he was hired to do?
Yeah, and the other thing is that that Israel, who was the sheriff, that was on site with Broward County, you can see if the backup was an issue, you'll see in this video as they diagram this on the map, the number of Broward County police officers that are on the perimeter of this property that never enter into the property. And I believe I'm going to get this wrong, but it was the other local police department. This is kind of saddles Broward County and this other local police department. I think it's Coral Gables or whatever. They were the first ones to take action. They were the first ones to actually enter the property in mass and to take on this one building where all of this stuff happened. And the other hero in this was a volunteer, an assistant football coach who was taking care of watering the football field, who ran without an arm into the building to try to do something about this, while the armed officers did nothing, not a thing.
Except stand around and get ready to take their damn report.
Yep. That tells you something right there. Unarmed and ran into the building. Yippee fucking ki-yay, motherfucker.
Amen. Hey, Scott, didn't that football coach, wasn't he shot and killed by the...
Killed. Yes, he was killed. He sacrificed for the kids. Yes, he did.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a hero.
It is.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. Before we get too fired up and keep on going all night long and end up doing a Uncle Jim hat chat, we're gonna rock and roll and move out of here. We will start with Insight Freedom, brother.
Hey, I'm back after my whatever it was 1,700 mile Christmas vacation, and I've tried to keep up with what's been going on here, and I have posted when I felt like I could, and I've posted when Uncle Dan motivated me to make an actual video about something. But again, thankful to be here. Always thankful for this group of men here that are willing to sit here and talk about this on a given Sunday night. And obviously, I'm a little over the top right now just thinking about that whole Parkland situation. So thank you all for listening tonight. Thank you all for entering into this discussion. We have a long way to go and a lot of things going on. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good to have you, brother. And I definitely feel where you're coming from and understand. So, and trust me, I've met your kids, and trust me, you guys are family, and I get where you're coming from, man. If something was to happen to one of them, I'd be, yeah. We'll leave it at that. Because if we go on, it'll go somewhere it shouldn't.
Yeah, I appreciate
it. Jamie, what's going on, man?
I'll meet you over at Scott's house, brother. It gets like that. I've got 357 stuff going on. I'm fixing to start 8mm Mauser. There's a couple of questions. I think it was Tread was asking me some questions about 8mm cartridges. We'll have to do a video and discuss that. Got a box ready to go out to Michael Signs, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys out there in the chat and on the panel that came over Friday night. We set a record for viewership Friday night on our live chat. So y'all come back this coming Friday night. the Georgia Shooters Connection on the Reloading Press channel. Check out the Reloaders Network. Scotsman, thanks for having me. Guys on the panel, thanks for putting up with me. And all you on the side chat, thanks for coming by and checking us out tonight.
Yeah, always welcome, brother. Always welcome for sure. And it looks like we have a special guest over on Insight Freedom's channel.
Come on in, Average Equestrian.
Hey.
Hey.
And again,
if you guys don't know Average Equestrian, make sure you go check out the channel. She is obviously Insight Freedom's daughter, but she is pretty cool. And yes, I've met her. And yes, she's right there.
Yes, she thinks you're creepy.
Yeah, whatever.
The creepy Scotsman.
That's Uncle. That is Uncle Scotsman right there.
Josh, shut up. And with that, Josh, you're up, fucker.
The creepy Scotsman shit.
Oh yeah.
Midas will fuck you up next time at the farm.
We'll do it.
Y'all gonna have to skip me because I'm just laughing.
So let's just start a new channel. Instead of the Glocksman, it'll be the creepy Scotsman. Oh,
Video
good
will be up
times.
tomorrow.
All right, Josh, go ahead, brother. All right. Anyway, Midas.
Pass.
Okay. All right. Thanks for having me on. I don't get to make the Sunday nights very much, but I appreciate the link and thanks for having me here. Once again, sorry to the side chat and all my thousands of subscribers out there asking me all those questions. I just couldn't read you because my other computer's not working. But no, this was a really good chat. We got an epic crew tonight. We covered some awesome topics. And stop laughing, bro. And honestly, I had a great time, and I'm glad I was here to converse with my brothers. So, thank you.
Good seeing you, Midas. Appreciate you, brother. Much appreciated for sure.
Thank you.
Phil, what you got? We're gonna give Josh a few minutes to chill out.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I hope to have a video coming up next couple days. Definitely appreciate being here, and it'll be a rough Monday, but glad to be here on Sunday night. Till we meet again.
By the way, Phil, I saw you on the NFL game. Good game today. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You'll have to fill me on what that is because NFL is persona non grata for me. So it hurts me because there's no more real. Well, there's one more college game, but I miss having football.
It's just a bunch of guys playing with balls. He ain't missing nothing.
Ball play.
Ball play going on.
Careful, you get Jen excited. Gotta watch.
Especially if those balls don't have hair on them.
Whoa.
Oh,
over the line.
Shaving.
All right, road cruise.
I don't even know what to say after that. I'm afraid. I'm checking my balls, make sure I'm putting hair on them.
Well, you never know, Brokaw.
Really? All right. Well, thanks for having me, Scotsman. And I'd like to thank everybody on the panel. You guys are great folks. I enjoy conversations. I don't say a ton, but when I do, I try and get my point across. If you want to go check out my channel and some shit content and a bunch of budget guns that you probably say are shit, it's a great channel to go visit. Other than that, I'll be picking up my CZ, and I'm going to probably shoot my Glock. That's what I was thinking about doing, shooting my Glock with my CZ, but I'm kind of poor now, so I might just trade in for something else. So maybe one of these other budget guns that are coming out. other than that, thanks for having me, Scotchman. All you guys, you're doing the right thing on your channels, and I appreciate it. And Insight, if I ever see you, don't get so emotional because I'll give you a hug.
I love your roll call, man. A CZ life is worth all of the poorness that comes with it. So enjoy it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to trade that other Glock for sure. You got to take.
Shut up with the Glock stuff,
man. Get you a PO9 or a PO7.
POS.
AK, baby. AK.
Yeah.
Uncle Dan.
Well, guys, I tell you what, I've not been real active on YouTube for the last 2.5 months. I started back, playing music again, and so a lot of times at night I'm working during the day, and I'm picking the guitar at night trying to make a living because us Texans is poor. But I will say, Coda Boy kind of gave me a kick in the pants and a pep talk, and it kind of remotivated me. And also Pop's Quest, and as a matter of fact, so I'd made a video of VR to Pop's Quest tonight, and he's done a lot for my channel. But I just want to say, to all true Americans, true patriots, to not compromise, be ready, because ultimately, freedom is up to the individual. We'll either live free or die free, one way or the other. So it's about all I got. God bless y'all. Thank you for having me, Scotsman. And Uncle Dan is that.
Uncle Dan, we will take you in any increments we can get you, brother.
It's been a good while since we heard that the Uncle Dan is out still, and it's good to hear that, brother. Good to see you.
I'm still waiting on my Gene Watson song, brother.
Oh man, watch out! I'll get the guitar and do it right now.
All right, and Alan, what you got, man?
I've actually got just one thing that I wanted to point out. There's this little thing going around that the Crazy Scotsman started called #TenderFamous. It is an effort that he started to try to get me to 1,000. There's been a couple of VRs in there that were absolutely hilarious. Looking for plenty more. Video is on his channel for #TenderFamous. But other than that, I got nothing. Just keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber.
All right, and hopefully Josh has had enough time to recover, recuperate, and get himself settled down to where he's not busting out, laughing his ass off. And
as long as Midas doesn't crack a smile, make me start laughing again.
He couldn't handle the Midas touch.
Josh, would you like to do an outro, my friend?
But anyways, so no, I don't know. I don't know what I got coming up. So I don't know. That's it.
You have
let me tell you, Josh is the most polite. He doesn't step on anybody's foot. And you see him pop up. He wants to say something all the time, but he bites his tongue. And that is a beautiful thing, Josh. We love you.
Well, thank you.
He's a full-blown CZ tart.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? You know what? He's a CZ convert, and I'm proud. I'm proud to call that man a brother because he's a convert to CZ and a happy CZ owner.
Just like a proud papa.
Y'all are just like getting under Uncle Dan's skin right now. You know you are.
Oh, I know. But it literally could bring me the tears. How happy I am that you have a CZ and are so proud to carry your CZ on a daily basis and retired the Glock.
And I will represent my Glock all day. I don't give a shit what you gun snobs say.
The CZs are cheaper than the Glocks.
Well, they may be. I just don't have one. So I got no experience in that realm.
So now you're the snob with
Midas,
your rich
rock
ass.
out with your
No,
Glock.
I'm just
guns.
poor. I'm just poor. I'm not buying new guns. I'm just working. I want to buy a new AK. I'm thinking about like that Palmetto State
Midas,
AR-47.
Midas, I know you can't see the side chat, but your girl's out there, Miss Karen Blue.
Oh,
Hi, Karen.
it's that. Oh, well, there's a lot of hearts on that one.
Yeah, I think that was all for Midas.
I can't see.
Midas.
And since Midas can't see, I had to let him know it was there.
I'm sorry. I'm a crazy magnet. She must be crazy.
You might need a champagne cooler full of the champagne of beer.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this. I'm going to simply say this. Number one, please, as Alan said, go check out the hashtag TenderFamous. And if you haven't made a video, and that includes a lot of you on this panel.
Dude, I told you why I can't make a video for that. I ain't gender bending. I ain't hitting on no man for nobody.
Midas, I'll do it if you'll do it.
I ain't doing
Every
it.
one of you needs to make a video. I don't care how you do it, whether you just fucking take pictures off of Google or what you do, but every one of you guys has to make a fucking video.
Scotsman has started a playlist, and I think it only has 2 videos in there now.
We only have 2
You
so
can see
far.
how you can get away with stuff without coming across sounding like you're gay.
Hey, I had all kinds of ideas, but Milcert Mike really, really knocked a home run.
Mozart Mike has got the bar up here.
Yeah, he
And
really
Midas, I expect you to take that bar from here to fucking here. So get your ass to work. Get your ass to work.
Get the razor out, Midas. You got to get the
Midas-
razor out and get to work.
Midas,
ain't
when I
shaving
say
this
get your
thing for
ass to
nobody.
work, I don't mean back it up and Alan just fucking,
Oh,
do what you got to do. Make that happen, dude. Make that video happen. Anyway, guys, our rights are under attack. Huge under attack. We have to fight. We have to step up. We have to do what we got to do. Join the GOA. Again, links down below. It does not cost a whole lot. Again, you can get a life membership and pay a little bit every month for that life membership. Join the GOA, support the GOA. They're fighting for our rights. They're trying to help us out, help you out. Contact your senators, contact your governors, contact your local representatives. Everyone you can contact, do it. Let them know we will not stand for anything but our rights as they're supposed to be.
Can I add one thing?
Will not be infringed. Absolutely.
And when you join the GOA, they send you the letters for you already printed out. All you got to do is go put it in the post office box after you sign it. And that's all you got to do. They make it easy for you. So when you join the GOA, they do the work for you. All you got to do is send it off. They do all that for you. So you have no excuse to not write your senators and representatives and all that bullshit. So just wanted to say that.
No, that's an excellent point. Excellent point. So there you go. Again, links are down below. Hit it. Pay the extra little bit of money. Do it. Shit, it's a fucking case and a half of beer. I'm telling you right now, I'm doing it. I haven't done it yet because what I'm doing is I owe Uncle Dan a video, and that's coming, Uncle Dan. I was trying to do it this week prior, but I never got to it because I had more overtime this week. But this coming week, that video is coming for you. GOA versus NRA, it's coming.
Awesome.
But trust me, it's got to happen. We got to step up, we got to fight, and we got to stand up for our rights. And the only way it's going to happen is each and every one of us, all you guys in side chat, everyone here in the panel, and anyone else who checks this out, we got to step up and we got to do what we got to do. We got to fight. We got to contact the representatives and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. That's all we got to do. All right. With that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all in the side chat. Everyone out there, thank you very much for showing up. All the lovely panel that we have tonight, all my brothers, my friends, I appreciate y'all. And with that, we are out of here. You guys have a good night.
All right.
Play us out.